Welcome to the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast, a show all about reviewing dinosaurs on a scale of 1 to 10 fossils before only the elite terrible lizards make it into the prehistoric cage match. This program is presented by the Stomp Chomp Roar Company and can be heard within all the rock layers across the planet. Grab your dinosaurs and your official scorecard because it's now time to dig for dinosaurs. Here's your Mesozoic host, Dinosaur Ranger Anthony.
Dinosaur fans, are you ready? I said, are you ready? Because it's time for episode number 29 of the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast. This is Dinosaur Ranger Anthony, and I'm your host and your flagman for this prehistoric race between the compies. And I think the compies are just about to hit the beach. Omaha Beach, that is. Now, as promised, this week's species is from the original Jurassic Park, just like my t-shirt says, but it's actually from the first book and not the first movie. The movies wouldn't see the compies until the beginning of the Jurassic Park 2 movie or The Lost World. Now, quick spoiler alert, everyone. In the first Jurassic Park book, the compies are actually the ones who kill Dr. John Hammond. And John Hammond is the owner of Jurassic Park, or the CEO of the engine company that clones all the dinosaurs. Now, what happens in the book, after he trips and falls down a hill and lands into a creek, all the compies start running up on him. And in the book, the compies are given like a poisonous-like bite. So they start biting Dr. Hammond, and they actually put him to sleep before they make him their steak dinner. So I'm very happy this didn't happen in the first Jurassic Park book, because Dr. John Hammond is one of my favorite characters in the Jurassic Park storyline. Now, let's jump into a quick little bit of Dinopreneur news before we jump into our compies review today. So you guys, this last week, I surpassed 5,000 podcast downloads, and I just looked a few minutes ago before I started recording today's podcast, and we're up to 5,100. Now, it's not a gigantic number like 65 million, but I am still really proud of it. Podcasting can be very hard. It takes lots of research, preparation every week. So to be on podcast number 29 right now is truly amazing. I just want to say to all my listeners out there, thank you so much for listening and making me a part of your dinosaur day. Now, like I mentioned last week, I'm filling up a species list for season number 4 of the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast. So if you want to learn more about a specific dinosaur that I haven't reviewed yet, then send me its name to stompchomproar@yahoo.com. Also, you guys, I have a huge summertime announcement coming next week. So you are going to want to make sure to tune in to Prehistoric Cage Match number 3, where I will make this huge summertime announcement. You ain't going to want to miss it. Now, you guys, some Patreon Club updates for my virtual lessons for this summer. I've just about got my calendar fully finalized for May, June, and July, but my May lessons, or my May virtual lessons that you can take a part of on Patreon, are as followed. So on May 15th, I'll be doing a lesson about dinosaurs south of the border, or from the country of Mexico. On May 5th is Cinco de Mayo, so I wanted this lesson to kind of be about the dinosaurs and the fossils they find from the country of Mexico to kind of honor that Spanish holiday. Now on May 29th, I'll be doing a lesson about the Dilophosaurus and the original Jurassic Park, or the origins of Jurassic Park, teaching you a little bit more about the backstory. How did Jurassic Park become Jurassic Park? What is a little bit of the background that Dr. John Hammond had to go through to open the doors of Jurassic Park? And I'll be doing this one just 12 days before Jurassic World Dominion comes out. So you are not going to want to miss this one. May 29th, Dilophosaurus and the origins of Jurassic Park. Now, you guys, a few shout outs. Shout out to Little Feet, Big Steps of Gretna, Nebraska. I'll be visiting with my childcare fossil cart tomorrow and entertaining and educating all those kiddos out there. So I cannot wait to visit Little Feet, Big Steps of Gretna. Also, shout out to all the OutSchool learners I've had during the month of April. I've had tons of fun doing my junior paleontologist training course and my Mesozoic time machine lesson. So shout out to all of you guys. Also, a huge shout out to Anchor Point Elementary School and Kindernook Family Night. I went and visited both of those places last Thursday and Friday. I did 7 prehistoric pep rallies in a little over 24 hours. It was totally amazing, but as you guessed it, I was just tired afterwards, but it was lots of fun. So shout out to Anchor Point Elementary of Bennington and the Kindernook Family Night. I just had tons of fun entertaining and educating all your students and learners. Now you guys, let's go ahead and grab my scorecard because the compies are hitting the beach. Go, go, go! It is time for our next review. So let me go ahead and pull up my scorecard for the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast. Here we go. It is time to review the Compsognathus. The Compsognathus, this dinosaur's meaning means pretty jaw. So the name of this species is the Compsognathus, and its meaning is pretty jaw. Now, what is the dinosaur order for our compy? The compy is kind of like a nickname for this dinosaur. Its real name is Compsognathus, but to call it a little bit shorter of a nickname, a lot of people use the word compy. So I'll use it as well. So the compies, what is its dinosaur order? This is a Saurischian type dinosaur. It's lizard hipped, kind of like our T-Rex, our Velociraptors, our Spinosaurus. It falls into that theropod family. Those are the bipedal carnivores. So they're walking on 2 legs and they're eating meat. And then the compies fall into their own family of the Compsognathids. Now these guys are closely related to some of the early theropods of the Triassic period. So let's dig a little bit more into the Compsognathus fossils. So how big was this dinosaur? Its length, its height, its weight? Well, the compies are coming in, everybody, at about 36 inches long. Only 1 meter. That is very small, and only coming in at about 12 inches high, or 305 millimeters. This is one of the smallest dinosaurs ever to roam our planet. It's only about the size of a chicken, and it actually was once the smallest dinosaur, but that record is now for the Microraptor. So again, our Compsognathus is up to 36 inches long, or 3 feet, or 1 meter, and up to 12 inches high, or 1 foot, or 305 millimeters, and it only weighs about 6.5 pounds, lighter than the bowling ball I use at the bowling alley. So very small for our Compsognathus. Now, how fast was the compy? Here's where they're getting a little bit of their strength. They're about running at speeds up to 40 miles per hour. Remember, they're bipedal. They're walking on 2 legs. They're very quick. Those lightweight bones, hollow lightweight bones, very slender bird-like legs. They're small. They're not packing on as much as that weight like maybe a big T-Rex Spinosaurus. So they're able to move really quickly throughout the grasslands or the forests that they're inhabiting. Now, what were the weapons or defense that the compies had? What are some other characteristics of our Compsognathus? So this is a very bird-like dinosaur, like I mentioned. It's very chicken-like. They have 2 thin legs with 3-toed feet. So they're going to leave 3 footprints in the sediments if they're walking around some kind of muddy coastline. Now they have a very small, pointy head with small, sharp teeth. So their head is very pointy. I got some of my little compies right here in my virtual science lab with my little John Hammond figure right here. So our compies have that very tiny head. It's really pointy as it gets to the point of their nose. They have all those small and sharp serrated teeth. Now they have a flexible neck that goes down to their body where they have 2 short arms with 2 clawed fingers. Now their bodies wouldn't have been covered in feathers, they believe, even though in many of our smaller theropods like Microraptor, Troodon, Velociraptor, a lot of the dromaeosaurs, they believe are covered in feathers. Our Compsognathus right here, actually, they don't believe it was covered in any kind of feathers. It's more becoming evolved from a ancestor back in the Triassic period, so they don't think our compy would have sported any kind of feathers. Now, it is a carnivore, so that means means it's eating meat. So it eats small animals like all kinds of little tiny mammals, insects, and even lizards. They find some lizard fossils within the fossils of our Compsognathus, so they know that our compy probably would have ate some kind of lizard for a quick snack or a quick meal at the end of the day. Now, there's no evidence that they're living in pack systems like other smaller theropods, but it's more than likely because of their small size, they're probably going to need to help each other a little bit as they're going around scavenging for food. Now, they also have that long tail for stability, for running really quickly, getting up to that 40 miles per hour, and they have those hollow, lightweight bones that makes them even quicker on their feet. Now, where did this dinosaur live, and how long did the Compsognathus species live during the Mesozoic Era? Well, our compy is coming in the fossil record about 155 to 145 million years ago during the Jurassic period. Now, it is the largest dinosaur of its habitat. Can you believe it? The compy, only getting about 12 inches high, 36 inches long, is actually the largest dinosaur of its habitat, where they find it in the Solnhofen rock beds of Germany. Now, only 2 fossils have been found of our Compsognathus, one in Germany and one in France, so both over there in Europe. Now, it was found in the late 1850s, and it was named back in 1859 by Joanna Wagner. Now, it wouldn't be fully confirmed and published into a paper until 1896 by O.C. Marsh, who happens to be one of the famous paleontologists from the Bone Wars here in the United States. So you guys, that is a little bit about our Compsognathus. A quick recap before we give it its official fossil scale. A very small sized theropod, only about 36 inches long, 12 inches high, only about over 6 pounds, very small. Not the smallest dinosaur anymore, but it's still at the very bottom of the size chart. Can run up to 40 miles per hour. They've got bird-like legs, very slender, hollow, lightweight bones, small little head, but they still have some small, sharp teeth, flexible neck, long tail, short arms with 2 claws on the fingers, no feathers. They were carnivores, and they probably ran around in some kind of pack system, and they lived back during the late Cretaceous period. So you guys, where do we put our Compsognathus on the official Dinosaur Review for Kids fossil results? 1 fossil for being some of the weakest dinosaurs, and 10 fossils being for some of those gigantic, strong dinosaurs. So you guys, it is very sad to say that I'm going to be putting our Compsognathus towards the bottom of the official rock layers for the Dinosaur Review for Kids. So at the end of the day, its small size just can't compete with all the rest of the creatures that we have reviewed on the Dinosaur Review for Kids. So I have to give it a 2.4 for our Compsognathus. They are at the very bottom of the official results of the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast. It breaks my heart because they are actually a really cool species that I've enjoyed so much researching about over the last week. I didn't really read too much about the Compsognathus. I just knew they were the tiny little dinosaur, but they are actually pretty cool. So gosh, those little compies can run fast. 2.4 for the little dinosaur creatures. Now, like I mentioned, until I started preparing for this podcast, I hadn't ever researched the compies, and I gotta say, they are fascinating dinosaurs. I really enjoyed learning more about their species. Now, well, folks, the stage is set. Next week, we will have our next prehistoric cage match showdown. This time it will be against the Megalosaurus, who scored an 8.3 earlier this season. They are dinosaur fossil numero uno, versus the Ankylosaurus, who scored an 8.9 on the fossil scale, and they are the dinosaur tank. It is going to be fantastic. I cannot wait to prepare and record this lesson so that we can get it next week for our prehistoric cage match number 3. Who will come on top and win the 3rd prehistoric cage match championship? Now, before we go, everybody, a quick joke for our listeners. And I actually came up with this one on my own, you guys. Sometimes I like to go find a little hints on Google, searching the internet, but this joke is all mine. Dinosaur Ranger Anthony, I better get it trademarked. So you guys, here it goes. Why did the Compsognathus buy new running shoes? Why did the Compsognathus buy new running shoes? The old ones were extinct. Extinct, because they stunk so bad and they were dead, gone, extinct. That's it, you guys. Wish me luck, everyone, because this weekend I'll be running in my 10th Lincoln Marathon, half marathon actually, and it'll be my 15th half marathon overall. So I'm super excited. I know I'm not going to be beating any records or beating my best time of an hour and 37 minutes running 13.1 miles, but it's still going to be fun nonetheless. I cannot wait to return to this race since pre-pandemic. Now remember, you guys, send me an email at stompchomproar@yahoo.com and send me a species that you'd like me to review on season 4 of the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast. As always, you guys, my name is Dinosaur Ranger Anthony, your prehistoric dinosaur host of the Dinosaur Review for Kids, and keep digging for dinosaurs. We'll see you guys next time.